this work really about 8 years ago, as we kept hearing in organizations that we would go into to basically help them with collaboration and creativity, the conversation started to drift towards their own values and mission. And so they'd say things to us like, we really care about integrity and honesty and creativity and sustainability. And I would say, really? Well, tell me a story about that. And there would be dead air. And this really became acute when we did a job in an audience of about 500 people. And we were at one of the major overnight delivery companies that exist in this country that's based in Memphis. And we were doing a job there, and I asked the audience, I said, at this company, what do you care about? And this was amazing. This always stuck with me. This gentleman stood up very proud in the front row. He said, I'll tell you what we care about. And what he did was he recited off that plastic table tent that some companies have that they stick in their lunchroom that says all the values. We care about customer service. Check. We care about being on time. Check. And he was very proud of himself, and he laid them out. He was able to do it. He passed that test. And there's sort of applause in the audience, too. Okay. And then I said, so, does anyone have a story about that? And tell me a story about your values. And again, there were crickets. And I thought that is really strange. Until, in the very far back row, this woman stands up, very short woman. I think she was standing up. And she says, I have a story. And everyone's like, phew, thank goodness. She says, here's my story. I'm working in the Rocky Mountain region in Colorado. And one of our delivery vans gets a call to go up the mountain to pick up a package. And there's an author who's writing in a cabin up there. And so he takes his delivery truck and he gets up to the top. And the author hands him a manuscript that has to be in New York tomorrow. And while he's there, a snowstorm hits. And a snowstorm completely wipes out the road, and they cannot get the truck off the mountain. They're stuck. The manuscript still has to get to New York tomorrow. Again, she's telling the story in a room full of 500 people. So, the delivery guy turns to the author and says, what's your shoe size? And the author says, I'm a 9. The delivery guy says, I'm a 10. But do you have any skis? And he takes out his ski boots. The author does. The delivery guy puts his 10s into the 9s of the ski boots, and he skis the package down the mountain. He gets it to the depot, and it gets to New York. So again, she's telling this story in a room full of 500 people, and there's a bit of dead air. And then some guy way over here stands up, sort of like he can't sit down anymore, and he goes, we did that? And that's exactly what happened in the audience, too. They're like, wow, we did. And they were laughing, and there was this sort of palpable, weird rumble across the whole area, because immediately, by sharing that one story that they didn't know they did, it became everyone's in the room. Because anyone in that room now can tell it as their story, what they did, to exemplify that value, in this case, of customer service. And of course, what happened after that was this bizarre cascade of stories. I've got one, and so we heard from Florida, and we heard from Alaska, and all these stories started to cascade upon each other. And it struck me right then and there that the power of the story, above and beyond the language. I think crafting language is important, but I think being able to exemplify it through story is vital. And the way that you exemplify it through story is by creating stories. It's not just telling stories, you have to create them. And how do you create stories? Well, you all do it anyways. Improvisers do it on stage. So if I'm on stage right now and I'm improvising, and I want you to know that I'm a baker, and I want you to know that I'm an honest baker, here's what I won't do. I won't come on stage and go, ching, 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 ching. Well, hello. Welcome to the Honest Bakery. I'm honest. It says so on my t-shirt. Would you like some honest muffins? It's like, improvisers don't talk about what they care